Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV with your NFL Fade the Public video for Week 10 of the regular season this Sunday, November 12th. I'm going to let you know the 5 most public sides in the NFL this Sunday. You might want to think about fading them. I'm going to give you that information here in just a moment. Hey, quick reminder, if you're joining me on Saturday, not too late to check out my college football top 25 video. And don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the bell for instant alerts so you know when my top 25 college video goes up every Thursday. And this NFL Fade the Public video goes up every Saturday here on Wager Talk TV. All right, let's get right into it. First of all, if you are joining us on Saturday still, happy Veterans Day, November 11th. And if it's Sunday for you, belated Veterans Day. I mentioned on the college football video, but if you haven't done so already, comment below if you're a veteran so I can give you an extra thank you and salute for your service to this great country. All right, let's look at the most public plays. I've got 3 of them for this Sunday. Actually, 2 for Sunday, 1 for Monday. That's right, the Monday Night Football games included, and also a couple additional leans. But let's look at the 3 most public plays here for Week 10, and we'll start off on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern. And don't have to look far, but the Cincinnati Bengals becoming public once again after their impressive win on Sunday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. And Cincinnati's been red hot here after a slow start. Just like last year, they got off to a slow start, and then they heated up. Cincinnati's now gone 4-0 straight up in ATS their last 4 games, and they've been one of the most, if not the most profitable teams, at least in the AFC. The Lions have probably been the most profitable ATS team the last few seasons. Bengals are a close second, though, and the public is starting to jump on board once again, Joe Burrow and company. And speaking of Burrow, just like last year, he got off to a slow start the first few weeks, but he is picking things up. He's had his 2 best outings, at least from a QB rating perspective, the last 2 weeks, and it's come against 2 Class A opponents. A 135 rating against the 49ers, and a solid 109 rating on Sunday night against the Bills. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. So obviously Joe Burrow is clicking on all cylinders, and the public is taking notice. Houston Texans, meanwhile, have been a fade for several years by the public, but all of a sudden this year they've made the video a few times as a public play, but it looks like the public is starting to jump off ship here after 4 straight covers and a 3-1 straight up 4-0 run. Texans have gone 1-1 straight up, but they've gone 0-2 ATS their last 2, including a narrow miss as a 2.5-point favorite against Tampa Bay. And I think that's the main reason why public is fading him. But boy, what a great season for C.J. Stroud, the rookie quarterback from Ohio State. He had his best start ever last week, basically perfection. 470 passing yards, a 148 quarterback rating, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So yes, you know, Cincinnati has a tough test here, and if they come in a little flat after those 2 big wins against the Niners and Bills, they better be careful. Right now, checking the WagerTalk live odds screen, opened 8.5. It's down to 6.5 though, as a little bit of sharp money. So you could say this is a sharp square divide in this game on Houston, while the public is on Cincinnati. Total has risen from 44.5 up to 47, and once again, both quarterbacks had the best outings of the season, so you can understand why that total has risen higher. Cincinnati is a public play here on Sunday. Let's look at another public side for you, also on Sunday Pro Football, and this game goes at 1 o'clock Eastern as well, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 5-3 Steelers against the 3-5 Packers, and the public likes Pittsburgh. Currently, as we head into the weekend, this line is -3 to 3.5, so shop around. 3 is such a key number. About a 9% chance Pittsburgh will win exactly by 3 points as a home favorite. So the difference between 3 and 3.5 is pretty substantial. And the fact that this is a public side, I would think there'll be more 3.5s by this weekend. Public has faded Green Bay on a repeated basis. Each of the last 2 weeks, they've made the video as a faded team. Of course, Minnesota got the best of them, and that was their 4th straight loss in cover. Failed to cover. They went 0-4 straight up in ATS, but they snapped that last week. As you remember, the big public underdog of the week was the Rams, and the Packers won that one outright easily as a 3.5-point favorite, 20-3. Rams are banged up on offense, though, so we don't want to read too much into the defensive effort. But Packers have still given up 19 points or less now in 3 of their last 4 games, despite winning just 1 of those. So I do think they're playing a little bit better defensively than people realize. Offense is where they've struggled this year, and obviously not having Aaron Rodgers anymore has been a concern. But the theme of this video is quarterbacks playing their best games of the season, and Jordan Love had his 2nd best quarterback rating of the season. His best came in Week 1 against the Bears. 2nd best came in Week 2 against the Falcons, and he had been below average for about 4 or 5 straight games. Not a surprise the Packers struggled during those games, but he did bounce back with a solid 116 rating. Just 1 touchdown, but 77% completions. They obviously were taking more short passes, and it worked well for Green Bay. I would look for a similar game plan this week. Might want to check some of those tight end props over for the Packers if that's the case. Maybe even some running backs catching some swing passes. I think that would make a lot of sense here as they're taking things more conservative with the young quarterback, and it paid off last week. I would expect a similar approach. Pittsburgh's been very mediocre on defense. In fact, below average statistically. Their biggest problem, though, has been stopping the run this season. So would also look for Green Bay to try to establish the run game in this one. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh is coming off the Thursday night win against the Tennessee Titans. And keep in mind, Kenny Pickett was questionable earlier in the week for that game. He ended up playing a mediocre game, an 88.2 quarterback rating. And he's really been mediocre all season, an 81.6 rating, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. As I said last week in some preview videos, I thought Trubisky's actually had a better season as the backup. But Kenny Pickett is back in the lineup still, and he is expected to start this week after starting last week. And the public likes the Steelers here. In fact, they've gone under now 6 straight games. Packers have gone under 5 of their last 6. If you've just blindly played the under the last 6 games for these two teams, you've gone 11-1 to the under. Question is, have the odds makers finally made the appropriate adjustment? Look ahead, opening line was going to be 38. It's now been bet up to 39. So the money's actually coming a little bit on the over this week, even though these two teams combined are 11-1 under the past 6 weeks in the NFL. All right, those are your two most public sides for Sunday. Both go at 1 o'clock Eastern. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers, both very public plays on Sunday. There's also a very public play on Monday night, which I'm going to get to you for in just a moment. Quick reminder, if you want my official best bets, get them each and every day at my page, stevemerril.wagertalk.com. And don't forget about the daily free plays as well. I post free plays throughout the week on that page also. Huge college football Saturday if you're joining us on Saturday still. If not, get my NFL Sunday best bets. I love this NFL card on Sunday. And of course, basketball is here on a daily basis as well. Both college and pro basketball has begun. Number 1 rankings in every one of those over the past 3 years since I joined WagerTalk.com. College hoops, pro basketball, college and pro football sides the last 2 years combined, number 1. You don't want to miss out. This is a fantastic time of the year. To make the offer even better, I'm giving an instant $50 discount on any 30-day subscription. Now you can choose football only, college, pro, the combo, or basketball only, or the best deal is the all sports, basketball and football combo for a $50 discount instantly, though, when you use promo code ALL30, ALL30. ALL30 gets you an instant $50 discount on any 30-day subscription that you purchase this weekend only. Promo code expires after this weekend, so don't delay. Check out that great offer right now and all those strong best bets on my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. All right, let's look at the third and final official public play for week number 10 in the NFL. And this one goes on Monday night, as I said, in the battle of Denver and Buffalo. The public is on the Bills, and it's a little surprising because Buffalo's been a pretty big money burner, to say the least. The last 5 games in a row, they have failed to cover. They've gone just 2-3 straight up, 0-5 ATS their last 5 games. They've also gone under in 4 of those 5, but the public doesn't care. They're backing the Bills here on Monday Night Football as what they think is a bounce-back situation against the red-hot Denver Broncos. Broncos have actually won 2 in a row straight up and against the spread. First one came against Green Bay, but then the second one came against the Chiefs, a very impressive home underdog win a few weeks ago, and they're coming off a bye week. So situational setup doesn't look too bad for Denver here. We'll see if the bye helps or hurts. But the Bills, once again, coming off that tough Sunday night game against Cincinnati, they are coming off a loss, and yes, they have bounced back off their other 2 recent losses with wins, but they failed to cover both times. They were a 15-point favorite against the Giants, only scored 14 points in that 14-9 win a month ago. And they were a 10-point favorite against Tampa, and they allowed the backdoor cover in that Thursday night game a couple weeks ago, 24-18. But there was a late score by Tampa, extended in on some penalties, mistakes on 4th down and whatnot. Otherwise, Buffalo would have covered that game 24-10. And then, of course, last week they lost to Cincinnati as a road dog. So the public likes the Bills on Monday Night Football to bounce back. As I mentioned, they've gone under 4 of their last 5. And don't look now, the Broncos are becoming an under team as well. They've gone under 3 straight. And this is a team that went over in 4 of their first 5 games, including allowing the Dolphins to score 70 points back in September on the 24th. And then after that, they went over the next 2 games in a row, 59, 52 points. But their last 3 games, 27, 36, and 33 total points. I'm not going to say Denver's all of a sudden become a good defensive team. They're still way below average. In fact, on the season, they allow 6.6 yards per play against teams that average just 5.6. So the Bills' offense should get back on track Monday night, and the public is leaning that way. The Buffalo Bills, a public play on Monday Night Football. So once again, those are your 3 official public sides for week number 10. On Sunday, the Bengals and Steelers. Monday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills. 2 other games were just a bit outside from making the cut. 2 additional public leans, 1 favorite, and then my public dog of the week. A public lean on a dog I want to get to in a moment. But the other game the public was close to using, I called it an additional lean, is the Dallas Cowboys. And this one's not surprising because they're fading the ice-cold Giants, who are starting a third-string quarterback. The reason it's a little surprising, though, is because the public normally does not play favorites this big. The look-ahead line a week ago, when Daniel Jones was still healthy, was going to be 9.5. Now it's 17. I even see a 17.5 out there at Circa as we head into the weekend in Las Vegas. So obviously this is over a touchdown adjustment. That's why I'm a little surprised the public is still laying the premium, because normally when you get to 2 touchdowns or more, they just don't touch these games. But the public is leaning towards the Cowboys, so I wanted to mention that one to you. And as I mentioned, top 2 quarterbacks for the Giants are both out. So they will be going to third-stringer, undrafted rookie Tommy DeVito from Illinois. Now, he played at Syracuse for the majority of his career and then finished up at Illinois last year. Undrafted rookie, and he will set an NFL record when he takes the first snap on Sunday, because this will be the 10th rookie quarterback to start an NFL game this year, and we're only in week 10, and that will already be an all-time record, and we could have more to come. Just shows why the games have gone under more than over this year, because there's been some bad quarterback play. And hey, look, I'll give Tommy DeVito a chance here. He actually had a very good preseason. He had the 6th most passing yards of any quarterback in the preseason, 453 yards in the 3 games this summer, and he had a 7.1 average yards per pass and 67% completions, and even his QB rating was decent, a solid 85.0. So there is some upside. We'll see what DeVito can do. He's had very little regular season experience. He got in for a teeny bit in recent weeks, and of course he backed up Tyrod Taylor a couple weeks ago. He is now out for a month or 2, and then Daniel Jones was lost for the season last week with his injury. So DeVito is definitely starting here. He's only attempted 27 pass attempts in 2 appearances this year, and he's been very mediocre, 6.4 yards per pass. Quarterback rating is 62, 63. But it's not like Daniel Jones was any good. Jones had 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in 6 games, and a 70 rating. Tyrod Taylor actually had the best numbers overall. He only threw 87 attempts, did play 7 games. So it's hard to know what to make. Is this adjustment worth 8 points? Probably not, because once again, Daniel Jones was not having a good season. So it does look like the public's gotten a little overboard on this one. I'm seeing 17s across the board as we head into the weekend, but once again, it's 17.5 or more. You probably could start saying there's some value at that point. But then again, do you really want to buy and hope with the New York Giants with uncertainty at quarterback? But the public is leaning towards Dallas. Huge spreads, probably one of the biggest favorites I've seen since I've started this video series 3 years ago. All right, one other game I wanted to mention, another public lean, and this is the one public underdog lean of the week, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, the Minnesota Vikings as a home dog are getting some love from the public, and I would call this the one public underdog lean of the week. Line was looking around 2.5, but it's now mostly 3 in most locations. So it's sitting right on that key number, and the public is backing the Vikings here at +3. And of course, one of the reasons they like Minnesota is because they had the come from behind win last week, the last second win with backup Joshua Dobbs, who had just been traded from the Arizona Cardinals. When Kirk Cousins was lost for the season, they picked up Dobbs last week or the week before. He was not expected to start as the rookie, obviously, from Brigham Young. Looked good. Hall looked pretty good, but he got injured. Concussion, hit his head on the turf. And then Dobbs comes in, barely knew the playbook, doesn't know the players. Took a safety on his first 3rd down, lost a couple fumbles, did not get off to a good start, but he did finish strong. As I said, the last second win there, and overall, very good numbers. 102 quarterback rating, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So we'll see with an extra week of preparation if he's any better. Derek Carr, I mentioned this last week against the Bears, that Carr has been playing fantastic. In fact, he had his best game of the week 2 weeks ago against the Colts with a 133 QB rating, and he bounced back with his 2nd best showing, actually his 3rd best showing of the season against the Bears last week with a 109 rating. He's now thrown 4 touchdowns, no interceptions his last 2 games with over 500 passing yards. So Dobbs had better bring his A game because Derek Carr is playing excellent football right now. But the public doesn't care. They're leaning towards the Vikings as a home dog of +3. And of course, last year, Minnesota 13-4, and I've pointed this out. I know in the comments, a lot of you like the Vikings. You keep saying I'm hating on Minnesota. I'm not hating on Minnesota. I'm neutral on the Vikings. I don't care one way or the other, but I do point out that they had a negative point differential last year, which means instead of being 13-4, they should have theoretically been about 8-9 straight up. So coming in as a team I thought would regress, losing Cousins was a major blow because this is an offense that has not run the ball well this season. Overall, just 100 rushing yards per game for the Saints, but the Vikings averages 81 rushing yards per game. They throw for over 270. Cousins was carrying this team on offense, so it's very important that Dobbs has a good game once again. Whether that happens or not, it's tough to say, but the public is backing the Vikings as an additional lean, so I wanted to point it out to you. That'd be the one public underdog I spotted this week. Just a lean, but still the public leaning towards the dog. All of you longtime viewers know that's always an additional red flag for us when fading the public. All right, if you're new to the video here, the idea is we fade the public because long-term when you get one-sided action, we get line value going the other way, but we don't just blindly fade them. It's a factor, just part of the filter that you use when handicapping games. So I always try to give you as much information and as many public leans as possible in this video, and those were the 5 that jumped out to me this week. Once again, the 3 official plays and those 2 additional leans on the Cowboys and Vikings. Hope you found this useful. If you did, comment below. I read all the comments and I reply back. Let me know your thoughts not only on the games I mentioned here, but the other games you like. What are your best bets for Week 10 NFL this Sunday? Hey, throw in some player props as well, even some 6-point teasers, and with some analysis, if extra analysis is available, include that as well. We all love to learn and earn together here on WagerTalk TV. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, the like if you found it useful, and subscribe and hit the bell for instant alerts when my college football top 25 video goes up every week on Thursday, and this NFL Fade the Public video goes up every Saturday as well here on WagerTalk TV. And don't forget, if you want my official best bets for NFL Sunday, it's a super strong card this week. Check out my page right now, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. I also include bonus free plays throughout the week on that page. And if you sign up this weekend, you get an instant $50 discount on any 30-day package with promo code ALL30, ALL30. ALL30 gets you an instant $50 discount on any 30-day subscription. It could be basketball, it could be football, it could be all sports. Use promo code ALL30 for that instant $50 discount, but you got to do it this weekend. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. #1 rankings in football and basketball over the past 3 years since I joined WagerTalk. We are hitting on all cylinders, and I love the card this weekend. Don't delay. Get on board today. Hey, don't forget to follow me as well on Twitter at Steve Merril. 2 R's, 1 L at Steve Merril on Twitter. And I've also been posting free plays on Instagram. That's right, I'm on Instagram now. Who knew? Check out Instagram, Merril_Steve, and also check out WagerTalk on Instagram as well for bonus free plays. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the games this Sunday, and I'll talk to you again soon here on WagerTalk TV.